Now, in this course, the instructor has opted to utilize the discussion board for everything, assignments, discussions, and that's fine, because if you go to assignments, this tab right here, this content area, they've actually created course links to the discussion board, which is fine. It is perfectly reasonable to do this. One reason for doing this is that they want the students to respond to each other as they review other people's work and discuss ideas. And so a discussion board is a natural format for that kind of activity. The problem is that if we go to our discussion board, the way that the instructor has this set up is they have their thread, and all of the students post their work into this thread, and then also have to respond to each other in this thread, and so does the instructor as well. So we get this long forum that is really complicated, and as opposed to having everybody make their own thread within this week 1 discussion board thread, they're all responding to this single post. And so what happens is we have all this content, and everything that's going on is basically just a long chaotic mess of interlocking replies, and that's very confusing. Now, the reason this is all blurred out is because of privacy. So I don't want to, expose any instructor or any course to these videos because, we're all human. We all make mistakes. No one's perfect. And so the purpose of this video is not to embarrass any one course, but just to demonstrate how some of these design flaws can really impact teaching style and also learning style. So if we go back to our discussion board here, we can quickly see how the activity in our thread is decreasing as the week goes on pretty substantially. And a lot of that is due to just the chaotic nature of this discussion board. What they should have done was, when the instructor made the week 1 general forum thread, within this forum thread you have the option of making new threads, and here is the instructor's example thread. Now, all of the students should have maybe replied once to the instructor's main thread, but then also created their own thread within this subforum, with each thread being the student's discussion, and then that way it's much more laid out as far as how the students are replying to each other. Now, I do have to give this instructor credit because the reason they did not want to go for this option was to avoid the problem you sometimes have where some students who post first will have 6 or 7 replies, and then students who tend to reply later tend to get less replies. So there is that discrepancy of interaction among different students. And that's just the nature of how these discussion posts are generally designed. This is why you usually want to have students organized into groups, and that way each group responds to each other. And that keeps all of the activity and all of the communication equal across all students, regardless of if they reply early or if they reply late.